At Newman, Claire stops by to tell Victor she just cleaned out Cole's office. The conversation takes a turn, and she admits she's trying to find a balance for how to deal with people who hurt her without meaning to. When Victor assumes she's referring to Kyle, she fills him in on her boyfriend's confession about Nice. Claire complains that Audra keeps rubbing it in her face, and it makes her question Kyle. Making it worse, he proposed. It seemed like he was trying to cover for messing up. This makes her wonder if her grandfather was right about him all along. Victor can understand her doubts, but is baffled because Kyle passed the damn test. Claire's taken by surprise when Victor alludes to a deal Kyle made with him that convinced him he was trustworthy. This is news to Claire, who tries unsuccessfully to pry the details from her grandfather. None of this feels right to her, not the rushed proposal or this mysterious deal. Victor advises her to speak to Kyle and then listen to her heart. At Crimson Lights, Esther gives Victoria coffee just the way Cole liked it. Kyle spots her while looking for Claire. Victoria says it's likely a good thing her daughter isn't there. He wonders if she's against him now too. Victoria explains that she has no intention of telling her daughter what to think or feel. Kyle and Victoria rehash how he screwed up by not coughing up the truth fast enough. Victoria warns her daughter needs space and doesn't trust him right now. Kyle moans about Audra. Why did she have to come to town? Victoria says she doesn't appear to be leaving anytime soon and has nothing to lose. Talk turns back to Kyle's proposal. Victoria notes the poor timing of it, but agrees to talk to her daughter about where her head is at. Claire arrives and asks for a minute with Kyle, so Victoria leaves them to it. Kyle launches into a gushing apology, but Claire snaps. She was just about to give him the benefit of the doubt when she learned he's kept something else from her. Kyle rubs his eyes as Claire confronts him about the deal he made with Victor. Was that to protect her or himself at society? Sally's going over launch plans with Audra. She's confident that their careers are headed for the next level. Audra is pretty glum since she can't stop thinking about how her Vibrante plans flopped. She tries to assure Sally she doesn't need to worry, and then launches into a rant about Kyle and how nothing is her fault. She complains that Claire got her claws out when she called her a psycho. Eventually, Sally has to talk her down because she's spinning. Her friend promises perfect vibes tonight. The boss decides they should divide the guests so Audra can avoid Kyle and Claire. Audra crack that they should bar Claire in case she tries to poison her. Sally needs some reassurance that she won't be clawing anyone's eyes out. She just wants to get ready to dazzle people tonight and drop the payback talk. Sally arrives at Billy's place with her dress in hand, and they imagine how great they'll look when they enter as the party's power couple. She asks if he can charm Audra out of her mood. She's worried her right hand might start throwing chairs at the launch. Billy doesn't like the sound of this. He thinks Audra should get over herself. Before she can hydrate and do her hair, Billy hands Sally a gift, cautioning that it is only a loaner. It's the brooch that Catherine gave to Delia. Billy declares that it will bring her luck. Sally, honored, hugs Billy and thanks him for all the trust he's placed in her. He's proud of her and confident that tonight will be amazing. Victoria arrives in her father's office, and they discuss, what else? But Kyle and Claire. She's surprised that her daddy still approves of Kyle and supports Claire's right to make her own decisions, noting he never showed her the same courtesy. She's almost jealous. Nonetheless, Victoria thinks it's too soon for Claire and Kyle to jump into marriage. Switching gears, Victoria declares that Audra has to go. Victor agrees. She has definitely overstayed her welcome. Victoria asks, "So what can we do?" Victor replies, "Show her the door." At society, Audra bumps into Holden as she's leaving. She immediately starts railing about Princess Poison. He demands she leave Claire alone, but his ex continues trashing the Newman and mocking him for thinking he has a chance with her. Holden threatens to tell Kyle, Claire, and her boss exactly what they did in LA. Audra's not impressed by him playing the tough guy for a woman who is a lethal weapon on her own. Holden reminds Audra of how well he knows her and how little she has going for her in Genoa City. If he exposes what they did, it would destroy her. It was her mess. All he did was clean it up. Audra thinks he's lashing out because she hurt him. He only thinks he wants to punish her. Holden repeats that she needs to back off of Claire and Kyle. "Don't make me do something you'll regret," he warns before walking out. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of September 8th reveals Audra Charles had better start watching her back. Also coming up, Sally Spectra will find herself with a moral dilemma. Plus, Mariah Copeland will make a disclosure, and Nick Newman will share a secret with Sharon Newman. Why are spoilers? Tease Mariah will run into Tessa Porter at the park, and she'll make a confession to her estranged wife. However, will she finally tell Tessa what she did to the old guy when she was away on business? At Society, Sally and Billy Abbott will reel when they walk inside and realize the launch party is a bust. They'll quickly learn Cain Ashby was the architect of the disaster. Later, Sally will be faced with an ethical predicament. But what will it be? Meanwhile, Nick will fill Sharon in on the latest Cain developments. He'll tell her all about the powerful AI he has access to and how his father wants to get hold of it. Nick will also talk about the plan for him to get closer to Phyllis Summers, to glean more information from her. So, how will Sharon react to that? Other YNR spoilers tease Claire Newman will hit Kyle Abbott with another accusation. Plus, Jack Abbott will receive an alarming message, and Cain will gain a new ally. Finally, Audra has been threatened by multiple people on numerous occasions in the past couple of days. Kyle has warned he's going to run her out of town. Claire has told Audra to watch her back. And Victor Newman also wants her gone from Genoa City. On Monday's YNR, Audra will kid with Sally that she hopes Claire doesn't spike her drink with poison at the launch party. Then Holden Novak will tell Audra to leave Claire alone. Otherwise, he'll blab about what she did in LA. Also, a new cop will arrive in town this October when Matt Cohen joins the cast as Detective Jack Burrow. So, all of this seems to indicate that Audra could be on her way out. But will she leave of her own volition or in a coffin? Hey YNR fans, are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our YNR Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, September 8th to September 26th, reveal that there'll be a sabotaged couple, a mysterious invitation, and some wedding plans that go wild. The week of September 8 to 12 will bring a showdown between Audra Charles and Holden Novak, who'll be ready to blab about the mess Audra created in Los Angeles if she doesn't back off Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott. Later, Claire will once again quiz Holden about what went down in LA, since she'll be hoping for some leverage. What happened was obviously illegal in some way, so Holden will worry his part in the cleanup will make Claire think less of him. However, there may come a point when Holden decides to trust Claire with the truth. That could earn Holden some points after Claire explodes at Kyle for withholding the details of his $5 million deal with Victor Newman, which could also force Kyle out of town if it all goes south. Of course, Audra is the one who needs to go as far as Kyle's concerned. Kyle will work on making that happen and could potentially team up with Victor, who'll also decide Audra has been in GC long enough. At Society, the Abbott Communications launch party will be a total bust thanks to Cain Ashby, who'll gleefully greet Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra when they find the place deserted. It looks like Phyllis Summers may redeem herself a bit with Cain by helping him pull this off and deliver big news. Cain may prove that his AI software works if he's already been messing with Abbott Communications and derailing their plans. Sally's moral dilemma will follow all this, so she may have to decide if she'll join Cain's dirty team or walk away for a less shady career path. Meanwhile, it looks like Michael Baldwin won't be able to pass up Victor's idea. Michael has a chance to make amends with Victor if he accepts Cain's fixer position and secretly reports back to Victor with anything useful. Cain seems poised to hire a mole, but is he a smarter opponent than Victor gives him credit for? Will Cain know what he's doing and perhaps fully expect Michael to stay loyal to Victor? If that's the case, Cain could be setting a trap that Michael could potentially fall in and lead Victor astray. Although Mariah Copeland will reach out to Tessa Porter and make an admission, it doesn't sound like she'll come clean about causing that stranger's grim fate. Tessa will find herself drifting in Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s direction, so they'll have to figure out what their evolving feelings mean. During the week of September 15th-19th, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson's relationship will take a hit. That's because Billy will stir up some trouble and manage to sabotage this previously happy couple. Back with Clare, she'll get a mysterious invitation from Holden. It could set the stage for some alone time that perhaps takes a tempting turn. On another note, Danny Romalotti and Christine Blair will prepare for their upcoming nuptials, but there'll be some surprises when it comes to all the wedding planning. Things will get a bit wild, so the ceremony could be in jeopardy in some way. Christine and Danny may have to make some adjustments when it comes to their venue and any other wedding-related choices that fall through. Will Phyllis be the reason for the wedding plan chaos? Christine could at least hurl some accusations at Phyllis, even if it's a simple case of misfortune in the end. Regardless, Christine and Danny's love is what matters, so they'll try to concentrate on that during the week of September 22 to 26 and beyond. Danny and Christine's October wedding is sure to be one to remember. In the meantime, Michael's working arrangement is sure to get complicated. Cain can't be trusted any more than Victor can, so Michael will face a mess as he tries to juggle both bosses. As for Nick Newman and Sharon Newman, Y&R fans will hopefully see some movement when it comes to their relationship. Nick needs to decide if he's truly willing to step out of the friend zone with Sharon and go all in on a romance again. Even if Nick can't give Sharon what she wants, she deserves to know where he truly stands. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 3 weeks will bring some curveballs, so we'll pass along updates on any other major Y&R plot details. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, September 8th, 2025, have Victor surprising Clare with damaging information about Kyle, Sally questioning Billy's decision-making, and Audra and Holden exchanging threats. Victor agreed to back off his attacks on Kyle. He thought it over after an argument with Nikki and a calm talk with Victoria. Victor agreed that he wouldn't be as aggressive against Kyle, but he did say he'd be keeping an eye on him, so he and Clare aren't out of the woods yet. On Monday's show, watch for Victor to go to Clare with some new evidence he's found that is damaging to Kyle. What Victor may or may not know is that Clare is having her own reservations about Kyle. She did not accept his marriage proposal, and then she went out drinking with Holden at society. There, Clare let Audra get under her skin. Victor may not have to get Clare to walk away from Kyle, as she may be coming to that decision all by herself. Sally and Billy have been getting along great these days. He invited her to live with him, and the two engaged in passionate lovemaking. The launch for Abbott Communications is on, but this doesn't mean things are going swimmingly for the two. On Monday's show, watch for Sally to question Billy's decision-making. Billy doesn't always make the best decisions. He's got that gambling issue of his, and he is rather myopic about getting Chancellor Industries back in his control. Sally is a great partner in that she challenges Billy to do the right thing and not get ahead of himself. Will she be able to steer him on the right path? Holden literally had to get in between Clare and Audra when they had their spat at society. On Monday's show, watch for Holden to exchange some threats with Audra. In turn, Audra will also fire back some threats. Knowing Audra, she will use Holden's concern for Clare against him. If she has the chance, she may taunt Kyle with Clare and Holden's developing friendship. Audra knows how to position herself in the best place possible, even though she doesn't always emerge victorious. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of September 8-12 reveals that fans will see the worst party ever since Cain Ashby will be the only guest. Michael Baldwin will also lock in a betrayal while Jack Abbott grills Billy Abbott. So let's discuss what's in store on Y&R. First, Holden Novak will threaten to blow up what's left of Audra Charles' life by exposing what they did back in Los Angeles. Although Holden was involved too, he'll argue that Audra was the one who actually made the mess. Since Holden was just on cleanup duty, he'll think he can handle the backlash. Audra could be ruined, so Holden will push her to stop harassing Clare Newman and Kyle Abbott, or else he'll spill the truth. Across town, Victor Newman will hint about the deal he struck with Kyle, so Clare will realize her boyfriend is still hiding things from her. Enough is enough, so Clare will push Kyle to come clean, though it may not help much if he confesses his $5 million contract and his promise to leave town if he breaks her heart. Clare won't be pleased over Kyle's constant deception, so Y&R spoilers say their relationship will take yet another hit. Of course, Claire's connection to Holden will grow even stronger, so we'll see if she can convince him to confide what went down in LA with Audra. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland will have an admission to make, but it may not be the one Tessa Porter wants to hear. Even if Mariah admits to missing Tessa and their life together, she may not do anything to fix their relationship. Tessa may get fed up if Mariah continues to hide what happened on her business trip. Until Mariah can open up about smothering the stranger and why she's been so on edge, her marriage may remain in turmoil. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will toss some compliments around during his next bonding session with Tessa, so Mariah may be unsettled if she sees how close they've become. Over with Phyllis Summers, she'll let Nick Newman's warning about Cain go in one ear and out the other. Phyllis will keep her eye on the prize and take charge of a situation in the coming episodes. As for Jack, he'll receive a mysterious message that he finds unsettling. This could tip Jack off to trouble at the Abbott Communications launch party, since Cain is about to derail it. When Billy and Sally Spectra show up for the company's kickoff celebration, they'll find Cain waiting for them instead of their guests and the 50s decor they selected. Society will be empty except for Cain, so Sally and Billy will realize he's the reason the party didn't pan out. Cain may admit he called the whole thing off, so we'll see if maybe he's already used his AI software to gain the upper hand. In the aftermath of Cain's sneaky move, angry Jack will seek updates from Billy on how it all went wrong. Phyllis will also give Sally some guidance she didn't ask for, and we have no doubt she'll be smug about it. Sally will end up facing a moral dilemma, so she'll have a week of struggles and unpleasant revelations to contend with. Over with Nick, he'll divulge a secret during a conversation with Sharon Newman. Will Nick come clean about all the latest Cain-related news, or could this secret be a more personal one? Next, Michael will settle something with Victor Newman, so he might strike an official deal to secretly work for Victor while working for Cain. Once Michael leaves Victor's office, he may accept Cain's job offer and lock in the betrayal he's about to commit. Michael will presumably feed Victor information while making Cain think he's on his side. Will Cain get duped or perhaps predict Michael's actions? Could all this be part of Cain's grand plan? The young and the restless spoilers say the week of September 8-12 will bring plenty of excitement, so stay tuned. The mess Cain Ashby is making in Genoa City just keeps getting bigger, and he hasn't even attacked a business yet. But does he actually have the ability to stop Nick and Sharon's romantic reunion in its tracks? As it turns out, he sorta does, as Young and Restless' newest shocking twist clearly demonstrates. Cain inadvertently sped up the inevitable Schick reunion when he had them held captive in France. There wasn't a doubt in our mind from the moment Carter closed and locked that door that the situation would escalate the sexual tension they'd been battling. And while they didn't decide to drink the De Leon wine and get naked, in the end, they shared a tender kiss after Nick nearly died playing hero. To the delight of Schick fans, the momentum continued after they returned home, with Nick showing Sharon how he felt about her with yet another kiss in Crimson Lights. Since then, we've been left to assume that they've been spending time together and slowly making their way back to a full-on reconciliation. But all that is about to grind to a halt. Why? A new twist has reared its head, one that fans of Sharon and Nick will find downright exasperating, but probably not surprising. Just as the high school lovebirds are finding their way back to their love nest, Nick's been given marching orders by his siblings, concerned about Cain's machinations, that will 1000% throw a huge monkey wrench into the works. As Victor geared up for a war with Cain over the AI software that could potentially be used for evil, Victoria and Adam deduced that the best way to get the inside scoop would be for Nick to get close to Cain's supposed right hand, his ex-wife Phyllis. Read the recap here. At the very moment, Victoria was informing her brother that he needed to become the redhead's best friend and confidant. Again, Phyllis was over in Chancellor Park telling Cain how much she could relate to him wanting to recapture the magic with his ex. If that's not foreshadowing, folks, we don't know what is. We're calling it now. Nick, who will do anything for his family, will risk hurting Sharon again to cozy up to the one person who will be a deal-breaker for her, Phyllis. Red will fall for it, hook, line, and sinker, given she's still emotionally fragile from the kidnapping, Sharon will start walking in on fic scenarios that make the hair on her neck stand up, and Nick might even begin to experience some cosplay confusion himself. He does love both women after all. Young and the Restless sees Sally Spectra so horrified when she turns up to the big AbbotCom launch party, and also what Cain Ashby confesses to the week of September 8th. We've also got Daniel Romalotti coming clean to someone, and some stuff with Holden Novak and Claire Grace Newman. It's all good stuff. We're going to start with Claire and Holden and work our way back to the spoiler, where Sally gets so shocked because it's huge. As this week ends, we have Claire sick and tired of Audra Charles. Claire and Audra go off on each other this week, fighting in front of Holden. He is playing referee, but he is clearly Team Claire. Audra rolled up talking trash about Claire for having a drink or two with Holden. Audra then said she hoped that Claire went and dumped Kyle Abbott because he is a liar and a cheater. Claire clapped back at Audra because she knows that Nate Hastings dumped her for doing that dirty deal with Victor Newman and then lying to Nate's face. Audra was also snapping at her ex, Holden, accusing him of using old pickup lines on Claire. Boy, he didn't like that. He was already over Audra and crushing on Claire. Holden told Audra to back off. He's definitely getting in the mix, taking sides. Claire then called Audra the B-word, which, yeah, I get it. Audra snapped back at Claire about everyone thinking she's so innocent, but Audra knows Claire's terrible backstory when she tried to poison all the Newmans. Audra said, maybe Kyle should be the one to open his eyes about Claire and not the other way around. Audra knows how to scheme, I'll give her that, but Claire is actually the dangerous one compared to her, so Audra needs to watch her back. However, there may also be more to Audra than we know of, maybe something a little dangerous in her past as well. Claire had had enough of Audra. She dropped a final insult and then marched out. Of course, Claire was tipsy and Holden went chasing after Claire because he had no reason to stick around and talk to Audra, and he really does like Claire. Next week, Holden and Claire are talking in the park about what happened in LA. This is something we've heard about now for I don't even know, 8 or 9 months. From the moment we met Holden, we heard about this. There was an incident in LA where Holden helped Audra take care of something, and it had something to do with Tucker McCall. There was some kind of jam that Holden helped Audra out of while she was with Tucker. Holden is telling Claire about this because she really wants to know what went on back then. Holden says that what he and Audra did wasn't completely legal, which means it was illegal, which means it was criminal. Claire wants to know from Holden if he is trying to protect Audra, or if he's trying to protect himself, or if he's trying to protect both of them. I bet she'll get the info out of him. Holden tells Claire that he's really afraid she won't look at him the same way if she finds out the truth about what happened. But I do think Holden is going to be honest with Claire about his past with Audra. I just wonder if it's something big enough and dirty enough that Claire could use it as blackmail on Young and the Restless. We know Kyle wants to try and run Audra out of Genoa City, and this info might be enough to do it if Claire shares the information with Kyle once she gets it out of Holden. But Claire might not betray Holden's confidence that way, so Claire might use that info herself. Also, it's been a minute since we've seen Daniel and Tessa Porter, but they are getting closer. Tessa has already said her marriage to Mariah Copeland is pretty much over, and Daniel admitted to his dad, Danny Romalotti, that he has feelings for Tessa. We've also got Danny and Christine Cricket Blair's wedding coming up next month, and Danny asked Daniel to be his best man. Now, it looks like Daniel might play a song at Danny and Christine's nuptials. When Tessa hears the song, she is floored. She's telling Daniel she can't wait to see how proud his dad, Danny, is going to be when Daniel plays his first song for Danny. It definitely sounds like Tessa might be the wedding plus one. Daniel also tells Tessa that she came up with the lyrics and the melody and turned the chords into something beautiful. Daniel takes it a step further and says, "The song is beautiful like Tessa." She seems very touched by Daniel's words after getting ignored by her wife for a while. This is probably really good for her ego. All right, now I saved the most exciting for last. Sally has this big 1950s themed launch party all set up for the brand new company she's CEO of, AbbotCom. She reserved society for the event, and she jokingly invited Billy Abbott to be her plus one. Even though he and Jack Abbott are the Abbotts in the company name, but she is the boss. Sally made all these exciting plans for the launch party. Decor, food, drinks, everything. She told her boyfriend, so Billy knows how hard Sally has been working to get this all arranged. Then she and Billy are blindsided by something insane that happens next week. Sally and Billy walk into society and kind of announce their entrance. "We're here!" They're expecting a room full of guests, but nobody's there except for one person. Sally is horrified to see the place empty, not decorated as she planned. It's like somebody completely canceled her launch, and she tells Billy, "Wait, whoa, hold on. Everything was supposed to be decked out. Where is everybody?" Then we see the one guy there. Party crasher Cain Ashby is at the bar and says, "Hey guys, glad you both made it. I was starting to get worried." So, obviously, he did this. Bear in mind, Cain is hot off the heels of a big argument with Phyllis Summers, who stepped in and ran her mouth and blew this chance he had with Lily Winters. He was making some progress with Lily and telling her he'd stopped the takeover stuff, which is a lie he's trying to sell all across town. Then Phyllis comes in and just makes him look like a liar. Cain's furious. He was yelling at Phyllis. He's more adamant now. He'll never work with her. Plus, Cain doesn't want to be part of an alliance with Victor to target Jabot to take down the Abbotts. However, Victor still has some blackmail he can leak to the press about Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, and said he was conning that lady out of her inheritance. All that we know is that he did inherit, but not how he made it happen. So maybe Cain has done something to get control of Abbotcom to use it against the Newmans and to stop them from coming after the Abbotts. We'll see. Whatever stunt he's pulling with Billy and Sally, we're going to see Cain confessing to at least some of this new plan next week. If he dangles revenge on Victor in Billy's face and dangles Chancellor too, I definitely think Billy might betray Sally if Cain makes a good enough offer. You know, maybe he wants the media company. Be sure to check out our Young and the Restless full weekly spoilers video tomorrow for your full roster of detailed daily spoilers for the week of September 8th through the 12th. Genoa City. The coming weeks of September 8th to September 19th promise a seismic shift in Genoa City, as long simmering tensions erupt into open warfare, shattered alliances, and dangerous new secrets. From the hallowed halls of Newman Enterprises to the tense quiet of private living rooms, no one is safe from the fallout as betrayal becomes the currency of the day. The primary battlefield is the fractured heart of the Newman dynasty, where Clare has finally declared war on her grandfather, Victor. After discovering Victor hired the cunning Audra Charles to sabotage her relationship with Kyle Abbott, Clare's simmering resentment boiled over into white-hot rage. In a move that sent shockwaves through both the Newman and Abbott families, she impulsively rejected Kyle's marriage proposal. The rejection wasn't born from a lack of love, but from an unbearable fury at Victor's suffocating control. Now, Kyle is left heartbroken and bewildered, punished for a crime he didn't commit, while Clare has torched her own happiness to make a stand against the patriarch she once tried to honor. Isolated and angry, Clare finds a surprising and potentially dangerous confidant in Holden. The two have bonded over a shared animosity toward Audra, the woman who has inflicted scars on them both. Their late-night confessions, fueled by frustration, lead to a stunning revelation. Holden admits that he and Audra share a criminal past, a secret so potent it could destroy them both. This bombshell leaves Clare at a crossroads. Does she weaponize this information to ruin her rival, even if it means sacrificing her new ally? Meanwhile, the volatile chemistry between Holden and Audra crackles with unresolved tension, their mutual threats masking a twisted attraction that could see them form an unholy alliance against the very dynasties that cast them aside. While Clare's personal war rages, Victor Newman is preparing for a much larger conflict. Convinced that Jack Abbott is responsible for nearly killing Nikki with his reckless handling of her relapse, Victor summons his children for a war council. He is mobilizing the full force of the Newman Empire for round 34 of the endless Newman-Abbott feud, and this time, it's deeply personal. Nick and Adam are conscripted as his soldiers, but Victor has a new weapon in his sights, Cain Ashby's powerful AI software, a tool he intends to acquire through leverage and coercion, forcing Cain into an impossible position. This puts Cain directly in the crosshairs not only of Victor, but also of his estranged wife, Lily Winters. Reaching her breaking point with his endless secrets and shady dealings, Lily issues a final ultimatum: confess everything or lose her forever. Elsewhere, other relationships hang by a thread. Sally Spectra makes a hesitant decision to move in with Billy Abbott, a choice that feels more like an escape than a commitment. And a tender, budding romance blossoms between a love-struck Daniel and his music mentor, Tessa Porter, whose innocent connection could soon become complicated in the tangled web of Genoa City. It's been 4 months since Summer's departure on The Young and the Restless. Although she's got a new life in Milan, the door is always open for a return. When and if Summer returns, she'll have a huge surprise. Prior to Summer's exit, she broke up with Chance. It was heartbreaking for some Chance fans, who are left wondering what could have been. Although Summer has a new man in Italy, she'll always have reminders of Chance, one of which might carry his legacy. On Reddit, a fan theory speculates that Summer may be pregnant or has given birth to Chance's child. Summer returns from Milan with Chance's baby, and he continues the Chancellor line, one fan suggested. I like the Summer idea, a new Chancellor baby named after his dad. Oh, they didn't need to kill off Chance, one viewer replied. I'd be cool with Summer coming back pregnant and carrying on the Chancellor family line. That could be interesting, another fan commented. While some Ants fans love the idea of a secret baby, others are skeptical of the idea. One reason is because Chance was told he wouldn't be able to have children. The other reason is because Summer and Chance were hardly intimate before their breakup. However, Y&R likes to retcon stories, and they could switch with Summer and Chance. Although Chance couldn't have children, in a surprise twist, he and Summer could have conceived during a secret rendezvous. If Summer does return with Chance's baby, it'll be a shock for the Newmans, but it'll be joy for Nina and Jill, who'll now have a little part of Chance still with them. Summer and Chance's baby will keep the Chancellor name alive, but also might play a role in the ongoing business war. Since Summer has the Chancellor heir, she'll have a say in who should take over the family's company. The stage was set for Abbott Communications' glamorous 1950s-themed launch party, but the night ended in disaster before it even began. Just as Jack Abbott finalized the guest list, a cryptic message signaled that something was terribly wrong. When Billy and Sally arrived at the venue, they weren't greeted by swing music and champagne, but by a cold, empty room. Standing in the middle of the desolate space was a new player in town, Cain. He coolly admitted to orchestrating the entire shutdown. Using a sophisticated AI he developed, Cain exploited a single security flaw to cancel every vendor, retract every invitation, and erase the event from the calendar in a matter of clicks. He called it a demonstration of his platform's efficiency, offering to restore the launch in 72 hours if Abbott Communications signed on as a client. It was a partnership offer wrapped in blackmail. The fallout was immediate. Jack was furious with Billy, blaming him for the porous security that left their new venture so vulnerable. While Billy's first instinct was to physically confront Cain, Sally Spectra, a woman all too familiar with crisis, knew a different approach was needed. Her dilemma was clear: accept Cain's coercive deal to save face, or refuse, and admit to a catastrophic public failure. Just when things seemed darkest, an unlikely advisor emerged. Phyllis Summers found Sally and laid out a brilliant 3-point plan for damage control. Freeze the narrative, control the message with transparency, and choose a side within 24 hours. Armed with this advice, Sally rejected both Billy's hot-headedness and Cain's manipulative offer. Instead, she chose a fourth path. In a powerful countermove, Sally and Billy went live on a bare-bones stream, honestly admitting to a technical failure, promising a full third-party security audit, and committing to a new, more secure launch date. Simultaneously, their legal team moved to preserve all evidence of Cain's cyber attack. The failed party was just the opening shot in a much larger war. The incident caught the attention of Victor Newman, who sees Cain's disruptive technology as a threat to Genoa City's entire corporate order. In a clandestine meeting, Victor enlisted Michael Baldwin to play a dangerous game, act as Cain's legal counsel while secretly feeding information back to him. Michael is now walking a razor's edge, caught between Victor's demands and Cain's cunning. He's navigating a high-stakes chess match where his opponent seems to anticipate every move. This battle is no longer just about a single company. It's a clash between old guard power and new-age technological warfare, and the fight is only just getting started. Young and restless fans, brace yourselves. Clare Newman is about to have her entire world turned upside down by a shocking revelation. After weeks of suspicion and unanswered questions, Holden Novak finally lowers his guard, and what he reveals about his past with Audra Charles could change everything in Genoa City. For a while, Holden tried to dodge Clare's probing questions about his history with Audra. He insisted that whatever happened in Los Angeles should stay buried. But Clare isn't one to back down, especially with her rivalry against Audra heating up by the day. Pushed into a corner, Holden finally breaks and drops a bombshell that leaves Clare stunned. According to Holden, he and Audra were once entangled in a shady scheme back in LA, a mix of seduction, blackmail, and dangerous ambition. But the plan spun out of control, leaving behind a mysterious death. While Holden swears he wasn't the killer, he admits that both he and Audra destroyed evidence to protect themselves. The revelation rocks Clare to her core. She thought she was getting closer to a charming ally, but instead, she's staring at a man with blood on his hands and secrets buried deep in the shadows. And now, she has to decide whether to use Holden's confession as leverage against Audra, or whether she's being drawn deeper into his dangerous orbit. Of course, Audra is no stranger to surviving scandal. If Clare dares to expose her, Audra will no doubt come back swinging harder than ever, but this time, Clare holds the power. Holden's confession is the weapon that could finally bring Audra down for good. Still, history has a way of repeating itself in Genoa City. Just as Adam Newman has been haunted for years by his past crime with A.J. Montalvo, Holden and Audra's buried secret threatens to resurface in explosive fashion. If the truth about that LA victim comes to light, both could face serious criminal charges, dragging Clare into the storm right alongside them. And here's the twist. The darker side of Holden may actually pull Clare in closer, much like Sharon once found herself drawn to Adam. There's an undeniable magnetism to dangerous men in the Newman women's lives. So what happens next? Will Clare use Holden's secret to finally destroy Audra? Or will she get swept up in his deadly past and risk everything? Now that the news of Matt Cohen joining The Young and the Restless broke, we can't help but wonder if he'll reunite with his former on-screen flame, Haley Aaron. Many may remember Cohen as Dr. Griffin Monroe on General Hospital, a role he held from 2016 to 2019. Griffin was the son of Duke, who befriended his father's longtime love Anna and took Patrick's place as GH's head surgeon. Another major storyline for Griffin was his relationship with Kiki, who was played by none other than Y&R's Haley Aaron. Griffin and Kiki were in a relationship for only 5 months before Kiki was brutally murdered by Port Charles villain Ryan Chamberlain. Aaron's Clare has been on the rocks with her current boyfriend, Kyle. After finding out Victor hired Audra to break them up, she even turned down Kyle's marriage proposal. The September 8th episode teases more uncertainty for Clare, who may have reached her final straw with both Victor and Kyle. As for Cohen, he'll debut as Detective Burrow mid-October. Not much is known about this Genoa City newcomer. Aside from that, he'll have a major case to solve, but his arrival begs the question, could Clare and Detective Burrow become Y&R's next super couple? Cohen and Aaron already have proven chemistry from their days in Port Charles, and dating someone with no connections to this town may be the fresh start Clare needs if things go south with Kyle. It's another tense round between Audra and Holden. For the Monday, September 8th episode of The Young and the Restless, spoiler photos focus on a confrontation between Audra and Nate. At Society, Audra and Sally will probably discuss the last-minute details of the Abbott Communications launch, but they will undoubtedly end up talking about their personal lives. If this is before her showdown with Holden, Audra may vent to Sally about how Holden is now taking Clare's side. Meanwhile, Sally has her own drama going on. According to teasers, Sally questions Billy's decision-making. Will Sally go on a rant about her man? Additional teasers warn about a confrontation between Audra and Holden, who no longer seems to be feeling the feels for his ex. They are allegedly set to exchange threats. And since the two both refuse to go into details about what happened between them in Los Angeles, maybe one of the threats involves their shared past. Is what happened in LA so bad that they can use it as leverage? And after these threats are unleashed, is their shaky connection done permanently? After all, Holden seems way more into Claire these days. Victoria is juggling a lot. She's grieving Cole, worrying about Claire. And then there's the Cain situation. The family has banded together to ensure Cain doesn't get his hands on Newman or Chancellor. So what or who's getting her focus on Monday? Maybe it's time for another sit-down with Nate. Those two have been supporting each other lately.